Council meeting to order on August 15th, 2017, 7 o'clock. Give a blessing.
Pray with me, please. Dear God, we meet together again to conduct the business of the city of St. John. Our hearts are torn by the loss of our friend Shane Steinmetz yesterday. We know that we must move forward with what business we have to transact. But first, we must pause in a moment of silence for Shane's family and his friends. Please pause. Hear our prayers, Lord, and give our hearts peace as we make decisions and share our convictions with one another. Thank you for the community of St. John. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Additions to the agenda. We have a TIF district project plan after the city comments. My understanding this is for preparation for a public meeting. Is that correct? So we'll do that after consent agenda, or after citizen comments. Consent agenda, appropriation ordinance 8/15/2017A, 14/7/14, and this was a GO bond that wasn't made on time, that wasn't done the last time. Is that correct? And new business property on West 2nd. We'll discuss that probably down here in housing violations. And city clerk sound system, circles program for Steinmetz funeral. They want to borrow our what is it?
The sound system.
Sound
The
system
speakers and
for
the
that funeral.
microphone for the funeral and then.
If anybody has any questions, we bring it up here in a little bit. And new business lifeguards pay for circles program. So let's vote on consent agenda and new business on city clerk sound system.
Move to approve. Push the city agenda. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion about, anybody got a problem with the sound system? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Any citizen comments? I don't believe so. Consent agenda. Let's get back up and go to that TIF project plan after citizen comments. My understanding that is a meeting, public meeting for the TIF district plan. Is that correct?
I was under the assumption Caroline was going to be.
She called me about 11:45 to say she was going to be here.
She said she was? Yeah,
I
she
told her I
gave
had
me a
no-
phone
no-
number even
yeah.
for her attorney, or whoever drafted this. She sent this to me at like 4:30 on Friday, so it did not get in your packets. And then, like, when I have additions like this, do you have a preference on if there's one and we can just pass it around, or do you guys prefer copies, or do you care?
I think I'll have a couple of copies.
Okay.
So if she's not here, I guess we'll,
If we don't approve the resolution,
Don't you have to give 30 days notice?
Yeah, I think it's longer. than
because
that.
this is to approve
It's set for, in that resolution, it's
To
set for
create the public
September
hearing.
19th.
okay,
So
well,
we
we
don't-
passed that. I think she talked about that in that TIF meeting. Does council remember that?
This is the actual
This is the
plan.
timeline.
This is how the money's going to be spent. That kind of thing. So
Yeah, I
this is-
have the
this is the
redevelopment project plan, and then the resolution that we would pass saying we are going to have a public hearing to accept the project plan, is my understanding.
That's how I read it. I mean, but.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I sent it to John, I said, have you
I-
seen anything
I
of
told
this?
her
And
I don't represent Stephen County Economic Development, so she doesn't have to be on the call. So I'm not going to lose a fine-tooth. It's not my decision to accept the plan.
the thing is,
Legally, I think everything.
everyone
but
focuses
I don't know the plan.
You guys can always wait and see if she shows up later.
She's supposed to be.
We were under the understanding she was coming.
I think she's coming. Yeah.
Shall we?
She's-
Yeah.
I'm gonna have LaDonna make you guys copies.
Come on in, Carol.
We're ready for you.
We're ready for you.
Yep, I have it right down here. I almost wonder if it would be louder if I
Oh, you sent me a text? Oh, maybe. I don't have
wonder if the next one is up here. Wait till you see it.
Welcome to the Fulton Conferencing Center. Please enter your passcode followed the pass. Please hold while I confirm your passcode. Thank you. Your passcode is confirmed. Please wait for the tone. Then say your name and press the pound or hash key.
Jamie?
When you hear the tone, you will be the third person to join the meeting. Join the meeting.
Carol, you want to come up here?
Hello?
Hi, this is Crystal Petrovsky and I'm in
This is Jamie Getty with the City of St. John Council meeting. Carolyn's here and we're getting ready to start discussing the resolution and the project plan.
Sounds great.
Would it be helpful to review kind of just the process and why we're doing this at this time?
Sure. Carol, this is Evan with you guys advice.
Would be best if you
Yeah, yes, I think that would be a good place to just give an overview of why. Just remember,
Yeah, for sure.
review.
I apologize. I'm on my cell phone. Probably ended as you all will recall, weeks ago, we met previously, we got the memorandum of understanding and the creation of the TIF district for the grocery store. Under the TIF Act statute, there are two statutory processes that occur to actually implement the TIF that was contemplated in the memorandum of understanding. And the first step is the creation of that district, which we have now done. The second step is the approval of a project plan that speaks a little bit more specifically about the plan for the development that will occur within the TIF district. And so we have submitted to you for your consideration that project plan draft, which I believe Carol has circulated to everyone. The purpose of the meeting tonight is actually just to call a public hearing. Chris, remind me what the date is for the public hearing.
September 19th.
Yeah, September 19th. So all we're doing tonight is simply approving a resolution to call that public hearing for September 19th. On September 19th, we'll come back before you, talk a little bit more about the specifics of the project plan. But the purpose of this meeting is just to take the statutory steps, calling the public hearing. From here, we have to provide notice to the county and to the Board of Education, as well as there's a statutory notice to provide owners of the property within the district. But basically, this is just the steps that we have to cross off the list and move forward from there. Carolyn, can you remind me, is the council also sitting in the planning commission? Is that right?
I see nods saying yes.
You see not saying yes. Okay. Another required aspect of this is that we need the planning commission part of the council to make a finding that implementing this project plan is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. Now typically this is a very limited finding, but I think the required analysis that has to occur before you approve the resolution as the council is that the planning commission deems that this is consistent, that the grocery store development is consistent with the overall development aims of the city as stated in the comprehensive plan. So technically, two findings tonight. First, the planning commission finding that the project plan and the commercial development contemplated in the project plan is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. So we would want to have one vote on the record of the planning commission that finding is made. And then the second would be the approval of the resolution. So kind of two separate action items to consider tonight. And again, all this is doing is calling a public hearing. So if over the course of the next few weeks there are questions or specific things that we want to discuss, then of course you can raise those to Carolyn and we'll come back in the course of the presentation in September. But for the purposes of tonight, just have to take the two steps that I mentioned earlier. That's kind of it. I'm happy to answer any other questions. I hope that kind of sets the framework for you. But if that's not clear in any way, just let me know how I can better explain it. We'll go from there.
Planning commission's the same thing, so, under your guys. Is planning commission defined statutorily?
The question was asked, is the planning commission defined statutorily?
Separately in the TIF Act, apart from,
A zoning board, apart, right?
The TIF Act does do, the resolution is in addition, the ability to approve the resolution is conditioned upon a finding from the city's planning commission that the project plan is consistent with the comprehensive. I don't know.
Do we have a comprehensive plan separate from zoning?
that's wrong.
Planning commission, TIF Act, but
That's why I'm asking.
I think it's just whatever planning commission, the city, I'm sure, I guess, I don't know if the question goes to the planning commission kind of serves in a limited role there in the city, but, there's no specific definition, just the city's planning commission.
Okay, so I think the genesis of this question is that what we have active here is a zoning board. And I don't know if it's clear if we have a comprehensive plan in a formal sense, and whether then without like a formal planning commission separate from the zoning board.
The zoning board is the planning commission.
Yeah,
It's
but
they're
when was
two
the
together.
It's not a defined term in the statute.
He's asked.
Yeah, and Kristen, will you look in the statute very quickly? But I understand the question now. Look in the statute to see if there is any reference to the city not having planning commission. I think,
But the
I
planning
think my
commission
gut reaction
and the zoning board are one and
that
the
if
same.
all the
It's
city
the
has
planning commission and the
zoning
zoning
board,
board together. They're both.
and there is no, established comprehensive plan, then I would probably try to sort of reword. I'd like to do something, I guess, so that it's on the record that the closest thing that the city had, which is the zoning board, did pass judgment on that. And I suppose the finding would probably be, it would be redirected from the comprehensive plan to more like, the project plan is not inconsistent with the city's zoning code.
Then we would have to have a separate zoning board meeting. Is the reason why I
You
asked,
have to do what, John?
we would have to have a separate zoning board meeting. We don't have, our zoning board is not, it doesn't overlap with the city council.
Ah,
So
okay.
is the zoning board, just to clarify, clarify, is the zoning board that you're discussing sort of a body that discusses zoning variances? Or does it discuss necessarily
Correct, and I have not,
development approvals?
and I was talking to the city clerk kind of while you were looking up the statute, and she thinks it was 96 or 2000 was the last comprehensive plan. I've never even seen a comprehensive plan. So if one exists,
The way the statute reads is that it's consistent with the intent of the comprehensive plan, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, this is something that was foreseen by the comprehensive plan, it just has to be sort of in line with the intent. Like that.
So John, I guess, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit, it's been a while since I've actually kind of looked at this exact issue. But if the city has a comprehensive plan, didn't it have to establish a planning commission first?
yeah,
For the comprehensive plan?
we're trying to find that, figure that out as we speak. Because as far as the as far as I can recall, the planning commission and the zoning board are the same body.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that's the case, then we don't have the zoning board present tonight.
Correct.
Okay, I was under the impression that the council and the zoning board, or that the council and the planning commission were one and the same. But it sounds like the zoning board and the planning commission are one and the same, and perhaps not overlapping with the council. Is that right?
I found an abstract of comprehensive development.
Right.
From there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, when does the zoning board,
30 days? Is it going to put in the paper? No.
or when can,
This doesn't even have,
when can, I guess, the planning commission / zoning board hold it?
What establishes the zoning should be 100% clear that the zoning not planning, city planning for years.
I should probably run it with myself.
The bylaw says that if they're supposed to meet on the last Monday, regular meetings of the commission.
I should have started it.
But I mean, there's four. One reason for that one, because she had it on the 28th. Well, yeah, we just have to go to the girls, we just have to have a regular meeting.
There's a regular scheduled meeting for
The fourth Monday of the month. They're just not used to it, so I'm just saying, try. So that would be, August 28th.
but we have, according to your schedule, Caitlin, we have until September 5th to publish it.
I don't think there's ever been a planning commission in this town. Ever.
They're saying that the planning commission is the zoning board.
That's what I'm asking,
It
if we
was
have a little more.
established that way.
Well, I don't know why I thought that when we were doing all of this that you guys were the planning commission meeting for this. I don't know if it's separate, I don't know.
We can schedule a meeting without notice because it's a regularly scheduled meeting, but the planning commission would have to meet on the 28th.
The 28th, that would be the soonest.
And they can issue, I guess it could be reflected in the minutes.
That won't work with the timeline.
Yeah,
Because that means I would submit it the 31st and it won't go out for publication until that Wednesday, which is the 6th.
Yeah, and I don't know what else to do unless there's a way of getting around that requirement.
It'd be easier to be forgiven than to get permission.
I mean, if we knew documents that established that commission, you'd probably be able to more clearly see,
That's what she's
was it
looking at.
just for the purpose of insurance?
St. John Planning Commission's
This
bylaws.
just proves that we need to look at more of this stuff that we don't know about. We need to do that.
It's 1,000.
Oh. So we have a commission that was established, but hasn't established a comprehensive plan?
It just says to make request we made a document and an official comprehensive development plan. Annual review, annual review.
They don't even meet on a regular Monday.
Well, is that a separate, I mean, if it is the planning commission, it doesn't say planning and zoning.
No,
No,
but I
but
think.
they're both.
Yeah,
They're both. They're both the
simplicity
planning commission and the zoning board.
They
They're
just wear
both
two
the same.
hats.
They wear both hats.
I'm looking for suggestions. This is on charge after. I had not looked to see whether that's something I can get around.
Okay, if in practicality, the commission is not acting, has not annually reviewed a plan that it's supposed to do by its charter, is not regularly meeting, can the commission make a finding that they're not active and act in their place? Would there be basis for doing something like that? Do we still have you, Evan?
Yeah, I'm still here. If that was a question for me, would you mind?
Yeah, I was just asking, you know, if we can see that there is a planning commission that has a charter, but they're not meeting as that charter requires. They aren't doing an annual review of a plan as that charter requires, et cetera. Could the city council make a, finding that they're not active and I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question. I mean, I actually pulled up the statute while we've been talking. All of the statute says that the project plan is prepared in consultation with the planning commission, and the planning commission has to make a finding that is consistent with the intent of the comprehensive plan. So, I guess if we don't have, option number one is that we have it approved. But if the planning commission doesn't exist right now, then I'm a little on the fence. I think if the planning commission doesn't have members, is that right?
No, they
I think
have
what-
members.
I think it
It's
meets as the zoning board.
It's one
No,
group that wears
They meet as
two
the planning
hats.
commission and the zoning
One
board.
group that wears two hats.
Right, so they've done work very recently on zoning stuff. They just haven't done what they're required under their bylaws for
For me.
planning commission.
Okay, I understand. Who is the zoning board? Not, for example, we don't have a core of the zoning board there.
No.
You don't have a single member.
Okay. Well, I do believe, I apologize if this is my mistake, but I had understood that city council sort of equal planning commission, and I now understand that's not right. I think could we convene a meeting of the zoning board to approve this plan as consistent with the comprehensive?
The earliest they meet is the 28th. But that would put us out of schedule with your timeline.
Yeah, it would push everything back basically by 13 days. When does the city council meet next after?
The 5th.
So basically what we would be talking about having the zoning board make a finding that the project plan is consistent with the comprehensive plan, the intent of the comprehensive plan on the 28th. And then the council would pass this resolution before the council tonight on the 5th. And then we have to wait by statute at least 30 days. So what are the October meetings?
So it would be October 3rd. Would be our first
Yeah,
one.
I think that's only 29 days. What would be the next one?
Oh, well,
17th maybe?
yeah.
Well, let me call out something. Looks to me like I would like to try to see things in order. And I apologize on that.
Is there a way that we could, Evan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a way we could just have a special meeting on the 28th, like with the zoning board or right after the zoning board meets?
That would be good because then what that would mean is that we could approve it on the 5th of October, or excuse me, on the 3rd of October. Because we would then have the required 30 days between those two. So I think, you know, if that's something that the council can accommodate, that's great. If not, I would say this, you know, based on the approval of the 5th district and based on the approval of the MOU, it occurs to me that I believe we're very much on the same team. So at this point, 2 weeks one way or the other, as the final approval, it's an inconvenience, but I'm not, Carolyn, I don't know that it has dramatic impact on the project, on the fraction. If we're going to keep going forward on the assumption that everything gets approved as we contemplated. And I guess where I'm trying to go with that is, if the council is willing to have a special meeting on the 28th, that's great. If that's not convenient for the council, then I don't believe that presents a significant impact for the project one way or the other. So, you know, I'll follow this.
Okay. And for my clarity too, what the council needs to do is find that this project is consistent with the comprehensive plan. You're just saying that they can't do that very well without having consulted with the zoning board, or the planning commission first.
So, let me say it again. There's two steps from two different governing units. The first step is that the planning commission / zoning makes a finding that project plan is consistent with the intent of the comprehensive. So that is step number one. After we have that step, that is pretty clear that it has to happen. After we have that step, the city council approves the resolution calling a public hearing. And then at least 30 days later, we have the public hearing. So we need the planning commission / zoning board to make that separate finding by itself, which it sounds like to me can occur on the 28th. And then we can have the council pass the resolution following the public hearing at any time after the planning commission acts. So it could be as early as the 28th, or if we have to go to the meeting on the 5th, we'll go to the meeting on the 5th. Does that make sense?
I think I'm seeing nodding heads. Yes.
Is that okay with council?
Yeah.
So we don't need to have the special meeting on the 28th, we can just kind of keep the regular September 5th.
It seems to me that it would be great, but at the same time, we're talking about delaying final approval from October 3rd to October 7th. And I don't know that that really means that we should inconvenience you with a special meeting. That's my personal opinion on it. Especially because I don't believe it actually impacts the
If we had a special meeting the same time the zoning board had it, we could do it all in one night.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine.
Just do it, just put them together and do it.
Let's get it done with.
You'd be 7 days earlier if you did it on the 28th. If you guys do it on the 5th, it won't be in the paper until the 13th. Because we only have a paper that posted once a week.
So if you do it on the 28th, what that means is that we will then have to wait these 30 days to hold the actual public hearing, which means that the public hearing will be on October 3rd. And at that time, have everything approved and be over and done with and have all the approvals in.
October
So if that's
3rd.
the schedule, then what we'll do is revise our resolution to show that it's going to be approved by the council on August 28th. To call a public hearing for October 3rd. If that works for everyone.
That works.
That works.
So does it have to be posted in the paper before your 30 days start?
Not more than 2 weeks, but not less than
No,
1
it
week
is
before the
not.
public hearing.
You go just from the approval of the resolution. There are required notices, which we have to send a copy of the resolution to the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Education. And then we do have to publish the resolution. And that has to occur.
My thing here says not more than 2 weeks, but not less than 1 week before public hearing.
There you go. Thank you.
Yep, I have it all. I changed all my dates to reflect what we just decided
Okay.
on Carolyn's
So yeah,
timeline.
so that's it. It's basically 10 days after the 28th, we have to mail the thing out. And then, like you just said, not more than 2 weeks and not less than 1 week before October 3rd, we have to publish. And we'll, by the way, when we're done here tonight, we'll jot it all down, make it all. That's right.
Any other council, any other questions?
No.
Is everybody okay?
Yep.
All right.
Well, thank you all for the time. I apologize for the confusion. We're back wrong on that link, but we'll circle back here and get it all done here in a couple of weeks and move it back forward, and I appreciate it.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darren.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
I'm checking with the zoning board to make sure that
Okay, yeah.
So I
See
need
if they can- Okay, that takes care of that. New business.
do I need a consensus of council for that, or? Good?
no, because he can call the special meeting whenever he wants.
We'll have to tell them when you want.
We'll type it up tomorrow. Or you can come and sign it.
Any more discussion on the TIF for Carolyn before she leaves? No? Okay, moving on. New business, property on West Second Street. I have Yeah, okay, we'll skip that for the time being. Sound system is in there. New business, lifeguard pays for Circles program, and I think Mark put this on here.
Yeah. Let's see, on August 20th, over at the First United Methodist Church, the Circles program is going to be providing a program for low-income people, and they are going to be using the pool at the IOF, and they wanted to see about having some lifeguards over there to watch over some of the kids that are going to be utilizing the pool. I wanted to get consensus of council if it would be all right if they would go ahead and get paid for their service on that night. Yes, August 20th.
This Sunday.
This Sunday. Well, the pool will still be open too this Sunday, because the pool's open on the weekend, just to let you guys know. Yeah, they still, you guys would have to vote on paying them for the lifeguards over there.
How long a time factor are we looking at?
I think it's
It's 2 hours.
12:30 to 2:30.
What is it?
12:30 to 2:30 is the
And
actual
how many
event.
lifeguards are we talking?
It's like an hour maybe.
Just
That's
two, I believe.
2?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have 4 hours in the deal.
Second.
$10 an hour, whatever it is, 9. Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, I'm gonna back up just a second. We need to appoint or pick a code enforcer. We'll do that at this time because we're gonna have somebody to enforce these codes on any of this housing stuff, and I've got a bunch of stuff that's coming up in old business. We need to have some individual that's gonna write letters, enforce it, if we need any enforceability, and that's council's decision to choose somebody or appoint somebody.
Did Jamie say she wanted to do that?
Sherry?
Sherry
I thought you said you did.
No.
said she would like to be something like that, a weed witch or something like that, so I'm not gonna be a
I'm
bad
just a
job for
regular
her.
witch, I can't be a weed witch.
Or maybe Jamie will,
I'm not a witch.
or Jeff. How about Carolyn Dunn?
I don't really have enough time.
I mean, if you want to be serious about this, I think I could probably come up with some solutions on it. I mean, that. We've participated before in an exchange, for example, with Atwood, where they showed that they had a lot of effectiveness by kind of establishing a sister city so that you're not enforcing in your own town. You've got a code enforcer from one town that goes to the other town, and it, really takes away a lot of that difficult small town politic element out of it.
That is very interesting.
I mean, actually, I'm glad to help with that if you would like for me to.
I don't think that would be good either.
No, you probably need somewhere that's 30 miles away,
Isn't there like a county one?
or more like neighboring county kind of thing.
Your health inspector.
What about Doris Tompkins, if you would be interested in? Or she can't, okay.
Yeah, but they hired a health
Scratch that.
inspector, so
She's
she's
hired.
not.
She's back?
She's back.
Didn't they hire
Because
someone?
the current one, yeah.
Yeah, so she's not gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this has to be an expensive thing. We could probably find $1,000 to compensate somebody, and again, if you'd like for me to work on finding somebody that's a little bit
What about-
removed and
I think that if you have someone that's a little bit removed from this whole area, that they're not here, they don't have no personal stake in it. And it would be easier for them to go around and deal with it instead of having someone here who would have to face these people day in and day out. So I think it's a good idea. I think I for one, would like to see Carolyn go ahead and look it for something.
Counselor?
You just talking about properties.
I'm talking about whatever code enforcement needs to be done. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to write the letters. Somebody's got to go talk to the people if it comes to that, or
Run tags.
run tags. if you're gonna wanna clean the city up, you've gotta have this person in place. And the last one, I think, has been, Adam Saylor, maybe, is that correct, council?
No, it would have been Mel and John that did it.
Okay, Mel and John, and we haven't had anybody since.
And then after that, we just were doing it.
Blakesley, he said he'd like to help in the community.
Ask him if he would. Richard's not gonna be intimidated.
He actually came and said he wanted
What's
to
wrong with
help.
Richard? Get
So
somebody
let's call
local.
him and ask him.
Grow some
Anybody have his phone
cojones.
number? Call him and ask him.
Ask if he do it.
Maybe he has his phone
If he's willing
enforcement.
to do
We
it,
need to
then by
vote
all
on
means,
tonight.
let him do it.
And
You have
move on
the
with the
number?
rest of this stuff.
I'm on with it.
I know I do. 617-7055.
We're in a council meeting, tell him we're in a council meeting.
He might be on his way back, so.
From Kansas City, yeah, he was stuck in traffic.
I'd give him more reason to answer his phone.
Yeah, I have it.
It's called public office.
It's a public office.
Yeah, let's try to figure out what the term is.
Were you right?
Call him.
Call him. Yeah, that's it. Hold on, I got it. Hold on.
I think we still could.
Just
What's mine?
A little bit of you or?
That came out when April was here. That's how it started. I don't have 40 people calling me. What's your number?
Am I on speaker?
You might just tell him it's on speaker.
Yeah, definitely.
She might have caller ID.
I'll text him.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Hey Richard, it's LaDonna, and hey, we're sitting here on council, and we wanted to know if you wanted to be the public officer for the code enforcing, so why don't you give me a call back? Talk to you later, bye.
We're gonna move that down to old business under house violations, because we need to get that took care of before we discuss that. Everybody clear with what I'm doing? Okay, we're moving right on. Approve minutes, regular council meeting, August the 1st, 2017. And appropriation ordinance 8/15/2017, $32,255.76. I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Department heads, Grand Administrator Lisa Cornwell's not here. Police Chief Adam Saylor's not here.
I have I don't know if you guys want these bids, for the air conditioner.
Air conditioner hail damage, okay.
But I got two bids, one from Davis Electrical and one from Meyer Electrical over in Stafford. And I forwarded them on to our insurance, and they basically just said, we'll go with the lowest bid, so.
Who is lowest bid?
Really know the difference.
Meyer Electric is $3,860. Kevin Davis,
And they're gonna redo, that includes a furnace and an air conditioner up there. And some coil. Whereas Davis's is just the air conditioner and the coil. So if you just want the air conditioning and the coil, it's gonna be this number right
Is
there.
there anything wrong with the heater?
I don't know, we just didn't know when it got replaced.
I mean, one's putting in a whole unit, one's putting in just the garage.
Yeah, now Meyer said if you wanted to do just that, it's $2,430. That's what Myers said, if you just want to install the
Okay, so he did it
condenser and the
two
coil. He did like 2 or 3 ways on
okay.
this.
Kevin, did you offer that obligation to, or that scenario for Kevin?
I just
What's Kevin's bid?
Okay, Kevin's bid is, just for the air conditioner, is $2,606. And Meyer Electric is $2,430 just for the condenser and the air conditioner. It's $38.60 for both of them, and Kevin's is, he didn't put that on. If he wasn't represented putting both of them on, then I don't feel like he could take either one of these bids. You gotta compare apples to apples.
What is, what is can?
Good Myers is 2,400.
Yeah, if you're just gonna do the air conditioner, you know.
And the coil, yep.
Insurance will pay a lot of it though.
Minimal.
I just give it to Kevin and keep it right here in town.
Yeah, thank you. Who's gonna be here when it quits?
$176. I don't really care. We'll pay the difference. Let the insurance pay the $2,400 and we'll pay the difference.
Somebody.
I'll put it in
Are
motion.
they the same SEER rating is another question. They may not be the same.
I think so. He has it down as a
13,
13
3
Sears,
ton.
and you have it down
3.5
as a
ton
13.
is, Kevin's 3.5.
Yeah, because he said if you guys wanted to upgrade it to a 14 Sears, he was gonna charge you an additional $345 for a big one.
Kevin's is 3.5 ton, and the one he's quoting you is 3 ton. Myers. Pass it around, you guys can look at it.
I don't even look.
I only got 2 quotes, because I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, it looks like to me it's a smaller unit than number two.
That's what I need to say.
Versus 3.5 is a 3 ton. What I read it.
Yeah.
You're doing the egg coil, he's doing the egg coil. So 3.5.
I mean, that's you know, part of your difference is he's pricing 3 ton.
Right.
Electric's pricing 3 ton.
I'm fine with $176 for that.
I think we've got a motion on the table.
Second.
We got a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion?
Wait just a minute, while we are doing this, should we go back and have this rebid? I mean, most of the time when you do get an air conditioner, you do get a furnace too. What do you say, Ryan?
We've got a motion and a second here. We need to
Are
table
we
that.
changing all that?
We need to vote on it, let it die, or whatever.
I don't know the condition of that furnace. You know, sometimes you do, but I don't know how old it is this year, to be honest with you. You know how old that furnace is up there?
I have pictures of it.
You do?
I have pictures, like Kevin sent me like the explanation with that.
The one in yeah, I don't know.
Would that help?
I mean, it's fine to go that way, but that's just, you know
No,
what I mean?
unless you have a picture of the furnace.
If ever you can get combined unit, I can get a combined unit. That's,
Okay, we got,
you saw a motion on the table.
we got a motion and a second.
So either
We're in discussion mode right now.
urge the question.
You guys can withdraw your motion if you choose to do, or you can vote on it. Whatever you do.
That's not the furnace, though. Basically, if that air conditioner matched the furnace, it'd probably be, I don't know, 2000, early 2000.
It's usually cheaper if you go that way too.
You know,
isn't it, Ryan?
it's something to consider, yeah.
Because that's all he looked at. And
I
then,
understand, but I'm just
Yeah.
thinking down.
yeah,
Mhm.
for longer.
Yeah.
Kevin probably bid what somebody told him to bid. Got a motion on a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? We're opposed. Anybody else want to put a different motion
I
on
would,
that?
I would give Kevin the price,
Combined unit.
whole units, before we make a decision.
Got a motion?
Second.
You don't have to do that.
Somebody else?
Just a consensus would probably be okay
Consensus.
if you guys just
Yeah.
wanna.
Get all together and have him do the,
I don't know how long
Get it.
that police station right there is, you know.
Yeah, that's another,
Something else.
that's another point, right?
I just get a new bid on a whole unit.
any more discussion?
Do you wanna take a look at this, or is it okay for me to?
Yeah, I think you can call back the other people and have them change it.
Yeah, you,
And have them just send it, because Ron, just have them send it to seal bid, just have Bobby open it. So there's
okay, Fire Chief Sanders, Mike's not here. City Clerk, Ladonna, Jamie, who are,
Good. Well, I have some good news after this wonderful week. I got a quote for our telephone system. After Jeff and I kind of sat down and looked at what we used and what we didn't use, our last bill to CenturyLink, I think, was what, like $1,300 or $1,100 to $1,300 was kind of what we were looking at. I got a quote for Golden Belt telephone for $340.53. So I need your approval to get that switched out and
So moved.
got a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Every time we asked about phone lines, we could never get a straight answer from them. We had to call Phoenix to even talk to them.
Does that include the WIT center and the senior center in there, or is that, are they
Because we
gonna
had
still
pairs,
be
we
with?
had phone pairs that we bought, like the control
it's
wells and stuff.
I just wanna
We
make sure
started
you
with
guys
the
have
radio
it.
stuff on the, when we did the nitrate plant, late 12 or early 13, we're still paying for phone pairs out in the well houses, and they're all radio control. $300 a pop. Plus phones and some land, we don't use, sometimes we use a fax machine. We don't use them.
well, maybe I'll get Golden Belt covered that. Okay, so something that Bobby had been asking for is our revenue report, like just the different totals. They're down. For residential of June of 16,
Got this in print, please.
Yeah, it's right here, do you have a copy of it?
Yeah.
let's see.
I read better than all this.
I know. And you can't hear me, right?
I can hear you, I can read your lips.
Well, while she makes those, who wants to be the voting delegate for the League of Kansas Municipalities?
I'm going on. Bob's going on.
I did something. I think Marshall will.
Don't have to do anything to that.
Okay. No, I don't know.
Go to the meeting. I don't have time for that.
State law provides that the governing body of each member city of the league may elect city delegates from among the city's officers to represent the city in the conduct and management of the affairs of the league. League bylaws provide that a city voting delegate or alternate delegate qualifies by having his or her name, city title, and address registered with the executive director.
I don't think you guys did anything last time.
With this?
Just throw that out. I mean, you guys have to.
So no?
That's the only last year with no way.
Gotta have some names plugged in.
How many you gotta have this one? I'll do that.
even sold as many kilowatts. Normally we'll sell 2 to 3. Not this year. Our yield's good.
We've had a lot of move in and move out.
Okay, Jeff, what's the ratio between kilowatts 16 and 17? Do you know? Can you get that information?
What do you want to know?
I want to know what the kilowatts that we bought
That we bought and sold?
and sold in 16, and I want to know the kilowatts that we bought and sold after we put the new in.
Well, we haven't had enough time on the years to know.
We ought to be able to do a month, hadn't we?
Well, yeah, but I mean, we tally them. Well, I suppose we could, yeah. I guess
Probably
we
look at
could.
the Midwest Energy bills for,
Yeah, we have-
for that.
Yeah, we'll just
June
have
and
to
for-
pull Midwest Energy stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Is
you
there a
know,
report we can run
that's,
for kilowatts?
but it's hard to compare them, and I'll tell you why, and I'm not backpedaling on the deal. The deal is that you'd have to have the same exact days of weather, the same amount of load, everything. I mean, there's no way, that's not a fair comparison. Because if it's 90 degrees for 45 days this year, and it was 80 degrees for 45 days last year,
But
we've got businesses that aren't working now that were here a year ago. I mean, I can give you the numbers, but I don't know that it's a fair comparison.
okay, where I'm going with this, when we bought them meters, waters and electricity,
Yes.
they said them meters would generate or would measure that electricity so much closer, you'll see a jump in the revenue.
Well,
And I'm not seeing a jump, I'm seeing a decline.
Well, you're seeing a decline because you don't have as many people as you had a year ago.
Yeah, but the ratio between kilowatts.
You have to. The only way you could compare that, Bob, would be compared person to person. That would be that. If I took Marshall's bill a year ago and took it this year, I could compare it that way. But as a city as a whole, you can't do it because the temperature change, everything. There's too many variables. It has to be done within your bill or my bill or Jamie's bill or somebody else's as to how much the revenue increased from last year to this year. But as the city as a whole, you can't do it because there's too many variables for temperature and everything else. I mean, if you had 17 days of 100 degrees last year and you had 6 this year, that's not a fair comparison.
But the ratio between kilowatts
But that's
that we
per
bought
person.
and kilowatts that we sold is going through the meter,
But that's on an individual basis.
but that kilowatt per
You know,
meter.
we buy so many kilowatts from Midwest and we sell so many kilowatts through our meters.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
That figure should be,
ratio should be the same.
Well, the ratio would be the same. Sure, it would be the
So
same.
is our ratio the same? That's the question.
We'll just have to look. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out how come our generations are down
They're down
considerably.
because the temperature's different. If you don't buy as many, you can't sell as many.
Have you bought less from Midwest than you've been
We
bought?
had-
Yeah,
We've
that's-
only had 1 month of 1,000,000 kilowatts this year. We had 3 last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks to me like our revenues in electricity is down about 5% overall.
I mean, you could find a 7% increase from the old meter to this meter, but not necessarily revenue-wise for the system as a whole.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you bought X number of kilowatts and we sold X number, just the ratio between the two.
Sure. Yeah.
That would be what we
Yeah,
would
sure. We can do that. Sure.
And as far as water, you're selling about almost 10%, 12% more water
Yeah.
on a 2-month average. So just find out how much we've sold.
We'll just
bought,
pull
how
it
much
from
we've
last
sold.
year's. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, we can pull it from last year's.
I'm not picking on nobody. I
No,
just-
no. I just, in order to be a fair comparison, you'd have to, basically, I mean, we can do it average-wise, yeah, from year to year, but to be a fair comparison, you'd want to take the same person's meter
No, I think you need the whole city.
Yeah.
All the city kilowatts that the city sells and all the kilowatts that Midwest sells us.
Yeah, you'd have to do, yeah, on
And
the ratio that way, sure.
subtract what we generate.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do it that way.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Jim.
Sure.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay. Ada Welch came in and she was asking if the city wanted to sponsor the Coaches Corner. They're looking for companies to sponsor. It says it's $150 per month, August through May. Live and local, 30 to 15-second spots per month. Sponsor mentioned during the opening and closing credits. A live mention on Carl's radio morning show to introduce your business to the listeners. I told her I would bring it to you, so here it is.
I don't feel that the city needs to pay $100 a year to promote sports.
I don't need it.
No taxpayers, I should say. It's taxpayer money. I wouldn't spend my money that way.
Consent of the council?
But if everybody else has an opinion, that's fine.
We need to vote. Vote on it?
Just to consensus, probably these are not authorized for you to spend the money. It's just that it died of lack of motion. That's what we refer.
Yeah, but
There's enough businesses that support, right? They all know that they're in St. John, so I think it's okay. The city needs to.
Okay. And then one more thing with this, well, I guess where'd you put the sound system stuff?
Go ahead, Julie.
I know Dakota is already tied up with the Circle program for the Sunday, August 20th for that, and then Mitch called earlier and asked if they could use the sound system for Shane's funeral. They'll come pick it up Thursday, and then of course the funeral is on Friday. And I think he was going to get with you to see if you would be able to help.
Yeah, the thing, I don't have an issue with that. The biggest thing is if there's ever a city type event, I use it anyway because it's for city purpose, and so I never ask because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Kind of have that mutual understanding. But when it's a non-sanctioned city event, I like to ask you guys for it, and then I figure with this event as well, with Shane's funeral, that they probably want something as well. And, all I ask is that if you're going to allow them to use it, that I'm the one who takes care of that because I've worked really hard to get new equipment with those dollars, and I don't trust it with anybody unless.
Trying to get a hold of him.
Right, and that's fine. I would be more than happy to go out there. I planned on going to the service anyway. I had already had that in mind.
And I think he was going to come Thursday and have you set it up Thursday.
Yeah,
But
that's
he
what
said
I.
he was trying to get a hold of you and Bill.
It won't be a problem with me as long as you guys are okay with those two events. We'll take care of it, make sure everything's proper.
And
no damage.
I have his cell phone number, which is, so you can call him too tonight if
Okay.
you guys want to talk.
Yep.
And then going forward, is that something like non-city events? Do you prefer us to come get your approval on that, or is it my authority to be able to give that permission?
I mean, for other events such as like concert nights or
Right.
anything like that.
That's what we pay for.
Okay. I'm just checking. I don't want stuff.
My biggest thing is that I would just ask that it's an approved person that knows what they're doing with it.
You're it, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I've got the old big huge PVs out there that I would be more than happy to send with them and not let them come back. But the new stuff, I'll stand and barricade the door. But anyway, yeah. So as long as there's a consensus, that's perfect.
Am I up?
Jeff, you're up.
Well, I think I had talked to most everybody on the council about coming down and watching that planer work this last week. I guess I'd like to have a consensus about what everybody felt, what they saw, what they thought of it. And then I'll kind of tell you about what we've discussed.
What does that thing cost a week to rent, Jeff?
$1,035. We did just over 1,500 feet, 10 feet wide
In a week?
in a week.
How many miles you have left to go?
Oh, enough to last year of my lifetime and then some.
Is that brand new planer?
That planer is a 2016. It had very, very, very few hours on it. The paint wasn't even scratched on it when we got it. You know, we discussed that if we ran it very many weeks, it would be a better investment for the city to try and buy one. And we called White Star and talked to the salesman that we bought the skid steer from. And I got a quote, and it came right straight. All of these bids are government bids, and they come straight from White Star's or from Bobcat's main office in Fargo, North Dakota. And the cost for a brand new one delivered to us is $20,166.60. But the problem with buying it that way is that we're at the mercy of Bobcat or Clark Equipment, and it might be 60 days before we get one. It might be longer than that. What Zach told us was that when they send in, when they make a sale, then it's at the mercy of Clark Equipment as to when your name comes up on the list, then they send the product down. So it could be
Warranty on the new one.
you get them their year.
So then when, if you buy this one, it wouldn't have a warranty.
It wouldn't have a warranty, but there's nothing to go wrong with it, and it's $3,000 cheaper. And a brand new set of teeth. $17,500 and we can keep it.
Versus 21 to buy a new one with
Yeah.
a warranty.
And we get to keep working, start again tomorrow.
And if you use this, will they apply the rental on this
The
one?
last
to the new
two, the
one?
last 2 days, yesterday and today. Because we rented it for a week to start with. But I told Zach that I thought it was kind of a deal that if we hauled it back on Friday, which was the day we picked it up, and then if we could buy one on Tuesday night, that I really didn't want to stop the machine. So what he offered to do was to let us keep the machine, and I could notify him in the morning, and we could buy that machine here. And his next route out, probably within the next week, which we don't need teeth anyway, he would bring us a brand new set of teeth. The bill is $17,500. Now, I met with Chad Fisher yesterday. Marshall had suggested that if we wanted to purchase it, that we do it on a 3-year lease purchase and not spend the cash down. And interest rate right now through St. John National is 3.5%. Plus a $300 documentation fee.
You have the cash to buy it outright.
We can buy it outright. We have the cash to buy it outright, but I'm kind of like Marshall too. Do we want to spend the cash now to do it?
Well, they're paying you nothing for the money we're parking in the bank and charging you 4% to get it out.
Yeah.
Why not pay or use our money?
I mean, we can do that
I
too.
would-
What we did was we encumbered money from last year to pay for a lot of the asphalt and the stuff that we bought this year. And so consequently, there's still cash in that budget to be able to spend that and buy it outright. And it's a street piece of equipment, so there's no tax on it. It's used for street use only. So it would be just a flat 17,500. And we wouldn't have the $300 documentation fee, which is basically the interest in it. So,
Interest $700 a year.
yeah.
So they're still gonna charge us for that week, $1,035.
Yeah, because that was the week that we rented it. And that was to see if we wanted to use, if we were even interested. And that's what we talked about, was that we could use it 3 or 4 weeks, and by then we paid 25% of what the machine cost. So
What's a set of teeth cost? cost for it though?
$8 a piece, David?
I believe for 80 teeth, it's $700.
So a little over $8 tooth. We pull those teeth off and we soak them in diesel. We wash that ground down every day. Those are a rotating type tooth. I mean, you can pop them out with a ball joint. Or to pop them out with, so.
Oh, White Star, they said
That's, well, they won't, it all has
they
to
have a
go.
lease program, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's higher than this.
Huh?
It's higher than this.
Higher than this, okay,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Yeah, he would have sold us a brand new one at the same kind of rate as what the bank wanted. But,
At 21.6.
at 21.6, 21.66.60. Yeah,
Versus what for the used?
17.5.
4,100?
Yeah, give or take.
Unless we get 17.
Unless we
Unless
get
you get a
17.
warranty.
Well, we get 1 year, but I mean, there's nothing to go wrong with it. It's nothing but a hydraulic motor and a set of hoses. That's all it is. Two bearings.
You burn up the hydraulic motor, you got 4,000.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. If you'd watch it run just a little bit, it'd be hard.
I have watched it.
You'd be hard pressed to see how it would burn anything up because it's designed with a plug and play with Bobcat that it controls the speed of the fluid and everything that goes through it. I mean, you can't alter what it does. If you start to pinch it, it will shut itself down.
Did everybody have a chance to see it operate?
Pretty slick.
I didn't
I
get
thought
very
it was-
close to it.
I thought it was pretty unique.
It does a really nice job.
It does.
Didn't
It
you
really
tell
does.
me, didn't you tell me that the teeth for it are $2 a piece?
No, they're $8 something a piece.
$8 something.
$700 for a set.
$700.
Yeah.
And how often you have to put a set on it?
Depends on how good you take care of it. Like I said, we've run quite a ways with these, and you can't really tell they're used except for the fact that we had a couple that got stuck that didn't turn, and it wears the sides off on them. That's what it does. But you can change them one at a time. They pop right out, pop right in. No bolts, no nothing. You take them out with a fork, a ball joint fork, so it's taken out. So.
What's council thinking?
For my money, I'd buy new instead of used. If I spend my money.
We'll be shut down for the rest of the season if we do, though. That's the only drawback. Because we're at the mercy of Clark when we do that, and it'll probably be the end of the season before we get one now.
How many hours is on it, Jeff? Do you have any idea?
How many hours we put on it, David?
Oh,
Right at 40?
I think, probably at least. I know just that first week it was over
30.
28.9.
Yeah. And then we've ran it 2 days since. So we're in close to 40 hours.
Was it new when they brought it?
It wasn't very old. It was, I mean, there wasn't a scratch on it. So I'd say it hasn't been used very much. But it's just a year old. So it's a 2016. So.
What's,
It
is there any
costs you
difference?
$30 an hour to run it, basically, for your lease. And it costs, you could pay $30 an hour. If you're gonna- if you're
Cost
gonna
$1.5
use it.
million to do First Street. 2
Well,
years
you
ago.
wanna run it this year, you can't get one. And you can't get one.
We won't get it by the end of the season, I'm pretty sure. And we'd like, you know, we can lay asphalt at 65 degrees. I mean, we laid it at 65 degrees the other morning, so that tells me that we can work for quite a while yet.
It looks pretty good what you do.
Have they changed anything between 16 and 17? Is it exactly the
They're
same
identically
machine?
the same. They're identically the same. Down to the color of the paint.
I don't like the idea of borrowing money if we have it. That is true.
Yeah, we only took, what did we take, it on 20,000 out of this year's, and the rest of it was last year's encumbered to pay for the asphalt.
Pretty much, yeah. You guys just gotta remember that this wasn't a budgeted expense.
So.
That's all you guys have to remember, so it's kinda like buying the grocery store. It wasn't figured into the budget. Not saying that the money's not there, it's just not figured into the budget.
Is that gonna create any flags, Ladonna?
Where are you planning on taking it out? Doing the streets, so.
What do we got in the street?
Give her just a second, it'll take a minute, you know, to hit the minutes, just, it'll take a minute just to.
Yeah, pretty nice painted.
Maybe $800 a year.
Give me the trade-in value when you're done with it, so.
You what?
I said, when you're done with it, there'll still be a trade-in value.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we want. The other one is just gonna tell you the grand total of what's in the general fund. It's not gonna be greater than the police cost. You know what I mean? Like,
I think.
with the trade-in value.
Probably not with the government discounts.
It should be okay.
Several of the streets.
I think we could do 60 blocks in the next 10 years. I really do. But what we're hoping for is, we got out on First Street. Of course, First Street's built heavier than a lot of the side streets. And underneath those streets on First Street, they have what they call soil cement, which is a mixture of Portland cement, dirt, and water. It's basically what it is. But the last, what we run into is the last 3 feet out next to the curb.
See, we're in October, we're just going in there.
It's dirt. And we would like to come, and we're gonna try and do something this winter. If we go ahead and buy this and we keep doing this. We sold those, 2 of those old salt spreaders last year on put them away, and just sprayed them whatever it was. Well, a guy from Canada bought them, and one of them, he brought a 18-foot car trailer down for 2 salt spreaders for 10-yard drugs, or for 5-yard drugs. So consequently, they only got one. We took the best one and left this the old fiberglass spreader, which was out of the old conventional duct truck. What we'd like to do is rig up a deal that we can still use a hydraulic drive on that. And on that last strip of dirt, be able to load that in there and take those millings and lay them on top of that dirt. And then wet them and pack them to get some base underneath there at this point. We really don't have a very easy way to put it in. The rest of it's going to be asphalt underneath. So, you know, this is kind of been trial and error deal. I mean, we're learning something every day. As time goes on, it's going to, but it's staying, it's laying down, it's staying, you know, the material's really nice.
So we budgeted for $168,000 and he has spent $83,547.81, which is 49.73% of this budgeted amount for the street department.
And I don't know if this appropriations is figured in there yet, because I don't know if she has updated today. So when she updates today, Jamie would have a better understanding, because when she updates the day, she updates the fund. Kind
I
of.
think if we're 8 months in and you've only spent 50%, I think.
No, we're not 8 months in.
Almost.
Our budget was, we started our new year, July.
January.
I was thinking July.
That's when we do,
Budget
that's when we do budget here.
Did you have to get the budget
We're only
done?
at
I
50%, I
apologize.
don't.
So you figure this in, that's just
It's probably at, yeah, it's 60% still. And it's like I was telling Bobby, in that general fund, it's just not Jeff that's in there. Because you have Jamie's funds and her accounts in there, the police department's in there, the fire department's in there. All of that's in there. So as long as the fund doesn't go negative, like Jeff could go over his budget in streets, as long as the fund as a whole doesn't go over. Does that make sense?
And we spent more for material this year too, because we didn't buy any material the last 2 years. But we probably used, you know, this last week, we probably used 25% more material. 20 to 25%. So, you know, if we get another 3 weeks, I'm hoping, well, the material usage will go down as soon as we get off of First Street, because we've taken them 10 feet wide, and we've cut between 3 and 4 inches deep too, which we won't do on side streets. but we felt like we needed to invest the material into First Street because of the trucks and stuff, you know. But we also want to be out of the way by the time corn harvest comes, so we don't have to deal with the traffic then too. I mean, it's the pits rerouting trucks the way it is, but if we get done the next couple of weeks, then we'll be done before corn harvest.
How much material are you putting back in there?
We're putting basically all of it right now. Well, not all. Yeah.
Are you grinding it and putting it back in?
No, we don't have, that's what I was telling Ryan. At this point in time, we've really, you know, when we grind down, we're still seeing asphalt. And so we're putting live good asphalt on top of it, with the exception of about the last 30 to 36 inches on the outside. Some of it has cement in it, some of it's just dirt. But we're tacking that curb and putting that live mat down in there and hoping we can hold it. But what I was telling him was that when we sold those 2 salt spreaders on Purple Wave last fall or winter or whenever it was, the guy that bought them was out of Canada. And whatever made him think he could haul 2 of them on an 18-foot car trailer and a half-ton pickup go back to Canada was beyond me. But we ended up with the old fiberglass, the smaller spreader of the 2. So we're going to try and devise a way that we can put it in that old dump truck and use the conveyor, the chain conveyor off of it, and try and feed back in to that narrow spot, and then pack that without having to do it all by hand, so that we can speed the process up and wet it, pack it, wet it, pack it, and get a good base for it. But you know, it's not really time to tear apart and try and do that, so we're just trying to get it repaired right now. But that's kind of a kick in the future, and then we'd like to look later on at maybe a flat face packer to make it smoother too. But I think so far it's really going well. I mean, we can take out all we need in about 3 hours, and then it takes all day to put it on. So, I think we've done really well. I think it looks really good. I think then we'll just seal whatever the tear down. So our sealing cost won't be much either, but we need to seal what we do tear down.
How well it pulls up when they.
I am too. Yeah, I am too.
Have we given any, some kind of the same size, but different, a truck route, so we do route trucks through town along other streets?
We never
Could
have.
we restrict the trucks? I realize
I
this
think
is
if we did, we'd catch heck for, I mean, I see
know we
guys,
catch heck,
I see guys parking on the side streets, now.
Park my truck in there, park in front of my house,
Yeah.
these footprints.
Yeah, it does. It sure does. You know, we hope that most of them will stay in the vicinity of First, Fourth, Main, and Broadway, but it doesn't always work. But I would like to see us do something more in that line too.
Discuss that much more.
You're asking the community to pay for
truck
traffic
yeah.
that we make a route away.
Exactly. You know, the out-of-town guys seem to be better at it than the in-town guys.
Hard to believe.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you hired a truck to haul for you and you paid him by the mile, you'd want him the shortest route into the scales and back out too. So,
If I got a load of soybeans going to the Dutch, I'm probably going to drive home at night.
yeah, exactly. Sure.
Well, I probably should park in by the co-op.
Yeah. You know, the biggest complaint we ever got with those before was the fact that they complained that things would get stolen, this and that. I mean, there was a lot of reasons why they didn't want to do it. But your point is well taken. I would really like to see us try to figure out a little better way to do it, that we can keep the heavier trucks to the streets that are more designed for them. So.
Any other questions for Jeff? Do we want to talk about buying a piece of equipment, or you want to continue to rent it? You want to exit?
I think investing in something that we can keep up the streets, but the streets are in pretty bad shape. Jeff can keep it in-house. Like, just get a piece of machinery that works and keep going forward.
You want to buy this one then?
Go ahead. You can make it.
Is that in the form of a motion, or?
That's a no, when somebody has a business in town that doesn't want to get nailed with spending government money.
I have no business in town, so I will move, we buy this one.
We've got a motion on
Buy it
it.
outright.
Yeah,
Buy
buy
it
it
outright.
For 17, how much is it for, Jeff? 17.5.
Are you gonna buy it outright?
I would buy it outright.
There's a motion on the table to buy it.
See if you can negotiate a
Zipper,
word.
they call it a zipper, I believe.
No, it's a planer.
Planer?
40-inch planer.
40,
See if you can negotiate a
Is it
little
40
more
inch?
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 inch, that's the largest one they make.
See if you can negotiate a year warranty with it.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not gonna promise anything, but,
Try what you can do.
you know, he's been really good to us. I mean, he's taken good care of our machines and everything else so far, so.
Second.
Second.
we got a motion on the table, we got a second. Any more discussion about buying this planer from
White Star.
White Star? Other than the discussion of the warranty, if you can manage it.
Let's see what we can do.
And it comes with a new set of
You said he.
teeth. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
That's all I have unless you have something for me.
Hey, Jeff, I
Man,
was
you took that
approached
one really
by,
Say what, Mark? I'm sorry.
I was approached by Jeff Myers, and he was saying that the water to the industrial art shop and the football field is off.
It is because we had a leak 2 weeks ago. We're waiting on parts.
Okay. How long do you think that's?
I hoped they would be here today, but I didn't get a call. Because
Okay.
we're gonna put brass back in there. Plastic, we had plastic split right down the middle.
And I spoke to Josh.
And I think it was
on
from a
Friday.
ground shift is what it was
I
from.
spoke to Josh on Friday,
Okay.
and I let him know that we
Yeah.
were gonna try to get it done today, this week.
Yeah, in
And I
fact,
let him know
I
that
called
Jason's
her.
gonna let me know when they're gonna turn them on.
I called her Friday and she said that everything should be in with the exception of one coupling should have been in by Friday. So if I don't hear anything by noon tomorrow, I'm gonna call because we want it back together too.
Also, I was approached by a few of the faculty members. They were wondering about the crosswalks. When are they?
Gonna get painted?
Yeah, because it seems like every year it happens right at the beginning of school, and then that causes a lot of problems. So,
We can paint them anytime or we cannot paint them. Mel used to paint them in the spring. I mean, this next week.
but
Dave's
school
still
starts
here?
on.
Dave would be able to tell you more. He's kind of got listed out. We'll try to get it worked in before when school starts.
The 24th. But we'll be everyone will be coming in on the 21st. The 21st, the rest of that week.
Not the kids.
Not the kids.
Just the teachers.
Just teachers. Yeah.
Can they find their way across the street if we don't get them all painted by the 21st?
I'm sure that they can, but I mean, don't you normally do the crosswalks, but also the lines also?
I don't.
No.
Not
Okay.
around the square.
Not
We
around.
don't paint them till spring usually.
Okay. All right.
We usually just paint the crosswalks up around town and up around the school is all we paint. I mean, the ones by the library and those.
Okay.
But
All right.
unless you want more.
Any more questions
We
for
repaired
Jeff?
some concrete in front of there already where the ramp was in front of the high school already.
Okay.
Jeff, I have a couple of questions.
One more thing. You remember we had talked about that pole over there by the industrial art building? Whatever happened with that?
We keep thinking that Josh is gonna buy new ones. I mean, we had a deal going with Kevin for quite a while that they were gonna put new poles in around there, so I just sat back and waited. But nobody ever jumped, so I don't know.
Just wondering where we're at on the skating rink roof. You know, I mean, I'm just thinking about.
We had called, LaDonna and I had both called, that
That guy,
in Hutch,
and Hutch, he has.
and we never got a reply.
We'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm
I'll
just
try
thinking
again
where-
tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, yeah, and if we have heavy ice, it'll be a mess.
We'll try again tomorrow.
One last thing is, is this Gary Smith that we're paying $500?
Not anymore,
Okay.
not anymore.
I think this
Your
month will be the last
utility
one.
supervisor passed his class 2 last week, so
Good.
I think Gary's all but done.
You're gonna have one more bill because why?
No, because
Why?
I think
No,
he
'cause
dropped
he was
it.
here.
Oh, he was?
He came
I
in
thought
here
said
last week.
He dropped it because it was billed ahead of time.
No, he
But
said he was.
I thought it's what he told Chris, but I'm not sure.
Jason's been in contact with him, and
I know they've been talking.
They've been talking,
Yeah.
so I don't know if we're gonna have one more, because he was here.
I think he built it ahead of time. He was here last week.
He was last year,
Yeah.
last week collected.
I'll let you know next time.
I
I think
was
it's,
curious
It's just.
I think it's done.
going
But it should
forward.
be done.
No, it's all
after
done.
this.
It's all done.
Jeff, one last thing. A lot of people over at the Sunflower Senior Center are very happy with the railing over there. They really enjoy it. So,
And they're mad about the weeds.
oh, yeah.
I mean,
Got a note on my desk.
You can't win
if
for
we're
Mr.
gonna
Candy.
complain about other people's stuff, our stuff should be looking in tip-top shape. Just my
Cindy Friesen stopped by. I wanted to thank you guys for the Frisbee golf very much.
Thank the
She
street
really,
park guys for
she
that.
really appreciated that.
Yep.
Oh
It's-
yeah, I
Very much
guess
so.
that, we haven't had council, we've got a new Frisbee golf course, so you guys need to.
We have a half a Frisbee golf course. We have no tee boxes. All we have is the rings. But Cindy's happy, so.
Yeah, Cindy's ecstatic. Never seen her so happy.
Okay, any more questions for Jeff? Moving on here. John, Sunday beer sales.
Alcohol.
Do you want a copy of
Alcohol,
yours?
I need
Copy
some.
of the ordinance before I
Did you bring it
go.
with you as a sample?
I did not.
Here's the,
The questions last time were, when would the election occur, if an election is required, and B, can we just call an election? And apparently, you don't have a right to elect. You have a right to vote, but you don't have a right to election. There are, unless it's defined in statute. And so in this case, when it comes to alcohol beverages, it's if 5% of the electors submit a petition to you, then you have to call a special election within 45 days, or to occur no later than 45 days, or within 90 days. But you can pass an ordinance, and then those opposed can collect 5% of the signatures to put it on the ballot and call a special election. So basically, the risk you take at this point is that if you pass the ordinance and already drafted the ordinance, then you risk there being a petition to hold a special election for the ordinance.
and I think Nita said if that happens, you might be able to get it on the election in November, but I have to check with them for sure.
So you almost have to time it just perfectly, and I have not done that.
And I'm not positive. She and I talked about it for a little bit. She thought maybe we'd be able to get it on.
The other thing is, as drafted, I expanded it as much as its current law allows you to expand it. So basically, the restrictions on CMB is not Easter, and then on alcohol, it's like not Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. But apparently, you can drink
On
3.2.
okay.
Yeah.
According to the Kansas legislature.
So what you're saying is we can't just put it on the ballot?
You gotta pass the
And the
ordinance
reason
first.
behind that is Kansas kind of squashed that because California has, and other states, have so many issues about animal things being put on the ballot. And so a lot of the Kansas ag communities opposed that mechanism on the ballot, so they start restricting chickens.
So what, we just need to go ahead and adopt the
If you,
ordinance?
yeah, that's the bad news. The good news is if nobody petitions, it passes and it's done.
I don't think that's.
Bad
what
news
we're worried
is if it petitions, then you have to have the election.
There's no means to withdraw your ordinance at that point. But the funny thing is what they're actually doing is.
What?
5%. In the last election.
5%
Last president.
At the last presidential election.
And we're only talking city people, not county.
It'd be about.
So if there's only 200 people that voted, they only have to have 5%.
Correct.
20 people.
So 20 people, so, yeah,
Yeah.
or like 10. If 10 people say no, they don't want it, then you have to have an election.
Yeah, but can we get it on the ballot?
Not until someone petitions it.
We don't have that
Well, if we
authority
pass
to
the ordinance,
put
you
it
can
on
do
the
it.
ballot.
You'll be able to do it for a while.
We have to pass the
Yeah. No, so you guys would pass it, it would get in the paper,
Excuse. If you don't need
It goes in like 60 days, so 70 days.
and then it goes 60 days, right? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, you do need to be here.
Yeah, you do.
Sorry.
I move we accept the ordinance as
You have to do that. We can do that next if you want to. We can do that next.
So Sherry, the way it works is you guys pass the ordinance. Jamie puts it in the paper. You have 60 days.
Right.
And if you get 5% of people petition within that 60 days, you have to put it up for election. If you don't, it passes its law and it's done. It's exactly how Stafford did it.
Here's the thing, if it goes to election and it don't get on this ballot, do we have to pay for a special
Correct.
election?
Yes.
What does that cost?
She never, she just kept telling me to come talk to you
But
I
don't know what it costs.
about getting it on the election, or on the ballot.
I have no idea.
Nita told me to budget $10,000 for your election for your budget. So that's what I budgeted. So it's budgeted in there, but it was for your budget election. That's what she told me to budget.
If we hurry up and get it done, we might get it on the
You
November
might get it
election.
on, correct.
Yeah. If we delay, we'll be in special
Well,
election.
do you want, I mean, I haven't looked at the dates. Do you want city staff to look at the dates since you're going to be back on the 28th?
Do you guys want to put it on the 28th, or do you guys just want to go ahead and pass it?
You know, they need to buy it here, they buy it in Stafford, they buy alcohol someplace else we want to buy.
Here's the thing, I'm not necessarily, I mean, personally, I could care less. But I don't want to spend $10,000 if I
Well,
don't have that.
yeah, so I say get it done early, and if it's protested, then they get enough votes.
We just need, is that a motion?
Did they give
I've,
us a,
I've already moved that we
I
accept
mean, when I
this.
talked to Lisa Weber up there, Nita was on vacation, when do we have to notify them by to get it on? You know, say it is petitioned, and then, I mean, it's not like they just ordered the ballots a week before the election.
Nita didn't, I didn't get that far.
I bet you we
Less
had
than 90
All we
days
told
away,
me
aren't
was
you?
it needs to be soon.
Military Service Act, or whatever requires it.
But it just depends on when someone would petition it, right?
The only issue have a petition.
So many
They only
days,
have 30
They
days.
have,
Okay.
they have 60 days. They have
Okay.
2 months to come in here and petition.
You're really
That's
saying 90
exactly-
days though until election, until a November election.
And they have to be approved signature.
They have to be approved
Just
signatures,
like
so,
this one.
so it would have to be an
And
address,
they
it's
should have to
everything.
show the same ID that they do to vote.
Correct. So we would take it to Nita, and Nita would approve them, saying that, yes, they actually vote, yes, they actually registered and they voted. Yes.
It'll go to an election, whether it's special election or special election.
Is there anything in stone that says it has to be a special election, or can it wait till the next election?
Well, you're just given that window, so that's.
It would have to be a
That's why it's
special.
almost.
If we miss it, and I mean, we can check with Nita tomorrow to see if you guys want, but I would get the ball rolling if you guys wanted to move forward.
We've got a motion on the table.
And the other thing is, I guess you can withdraw the motion on the 28th if city staff finds out that it's not going to work if the election's called. I guess you can just, send the motion.
I second it.
But let me think this through though. I think there's a mechanism, I think you can do that, just like any other thing.
I've already
Stafford didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, that's exactly how they got it passed.
We've got a motion and a second on the table.
Well, Stafford got it passed because of the question, right?
That's exactly what happened.
You voted for
Well,
it.
it didn't even go to election.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, it did.
No, not this, because I
Yes, it
talked to
did.
Jamie, and she said she didn't get a petition on her ordinance.
No,
So
there-
her ordinance went into law,
Maybe it was their liquor store.
but their
Well,
liquor
they voted
store,
for it.
yeah.
Oh,
Their
liquor by the drink.
liquor by the drink passed, but this ordinance, she put it in the paper, nobody petitioned it, it went 60 days, so it passed.
Okay, there's a motion on the table, a second. Any more discussion?
Yeah, what John found out. Can we rescind it next meeting if that's, I mean,
I mean, if you voted in favor of it, then you could make a motion, I would think, as long as, when would it have to be published?
Well, she's gonna, if you guys pass it, the ideal thing to do is to put it in the paper so it publishes next Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna, I mean,
I
typically you.
mean, because then that starts your 60 days, unless it's 60 days of when it's published or 60 days of when they pass it. I would assume 60 days from when you publish it, but I would have to check.
Then we get sales tax revenue from beer sales, but there's no sales tax revenue from alcohol, but he says he's not gonna open anyway. But you got sales tax revenue from beer sales.
True.
Can't go pay for the grocery store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they'll sell beer on Sundays.
Yeah, you get a local, you get an alcohol tax. It gets split between special parks and roads or, yeah, it gets split between two funds.
I don't care one way or the other. I mean, I agree with Jim. I think that people are going to go get their alcohol wherever.
You'd be surprised people that come in right now and try to buy it on Sunday.
Got a motion on the table and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Passes 3-2.
That's the closest vote.
2 and 2 and 1
This is your
abstain.
original,
I'm just
so you
afraid
need
to
to sign right here.
That's my idea.
Okay, there you go, your money. And we're gonna skip the housing violations for the time being, and we'll come back afterwards. And John, you
I
wanna,
only need like 5 minutes.
need a motion on the table for attorney-client privilege, discuss potential litigation, 5 minutes executive session.
I kind of
To include.
To include, who do you
So I
want?
kind of lingered because I thought that the housing thing might overlap with some things that we're doing with economic
Well, it
development.
will,
I
but
thought
I'm
that
going to, I'm trying to get this other stuff cleaned up before I go back, because I've got a lot of things to go over.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, that's fine. The offer stands that if you would like for economic development to try to be a support in this, I'm offering that. So,
Appreciate it, Carol.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
okay.
John?
I need probably Jeff Day. That's the clerk's here. It's not a company.
15 minutes for.
No,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It's just, good.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
So we'll come back at 8:46.
Right.